Well, we've heard all about the State of the Union. How about the state of the state? This state, Massachusetts. Well, we've got some new details, and I got to tell you, right out of the gate, it doesn't look very good. From the start, this was all about the money, how much the government was spending compared to how much it was taking in. The final numbers are in, and you might remember there was a little bit of controversy going back between outgoing Governor Deval Patrick and newly elected Governor Baker. They were about $500 million apart in their estimates of the government funding. Now Governor Baker's office confirms they ran a complete and thorough investigation, analysis. They combined all the state expenditures, and they say the state deficit is, in fact, $765 million. That's a lot of cash, over $750 million.
Spending seems to be the primary issue here. Tax revenue is about where people thought it would be. And we will obviously make these decisions as we go forward with great sensitivity and careful judgment. But as we have said many times before, we are not going to cut local aid to solve this problem. We are going to work collaboratively with the legislature on solving for it, because we must solve for it.
Now, to be clear, before you reach for your wallet, Governor Baker did say the state revenues are strong. The taxpayers are doing their part. Congratulations for what it's worth. But they say the government has just been spending more than they're bringing in, and that's a problem. 2 weeks ago, Governor Baker froze all new hires in the state government immediately. At the time, there were about 400 plus open government jobs on the state website. Those positions no longer available. Now, the governor did say he will not make any cuts to the homeless budget or to the Department of Children and Families. Which government programs will get slashed? We'll know more on that next week. Now we turn our attention to Brigham and Women's Hospital. A really tough day for the staff there. Surgeons worked for hours, but they were unable to save this man, Dr. Michael Davidson, an up-and-comer in the medical community. A statement from the hospital calls Dr. Davidson a wonderful, inspiring cardiac surgeon who devoted his career to saving lives. But Davidson's own life was cut short Tuesday when he was shot down inside the very hospital where he worked. Police say Davidson was shot and killed by Stephen Pasheri. The gunman walked right in, asked for the doctor by name, and went looking for him immediately afterwards. Witnesses watched in horror as Pasheri shot Davidson twice in the torso before running away from the scene there. Police say the shooter is also dead after he turned the gun on himself in another exam room nearby. Now, detectives say a preliminary investigation reveals that Davidson's actually the same heart surgeon that treated the shooter's mother, and that may have upset him about her treatment, maybe a possible motive for the shooting there. Just a tragic story in that hospital. The folks behind Boston's Olympic bid set to unveil at least some of their proposals to the U.S. Olympic Committee, another step for the 2024 Olympics. Now, there's been a lot of criticism so far about lack of transparency in this case. Boston 2024 will keep other details under wraps because that's how the USOC wants it, the Olympic Committee. They say the less that gets out, hey, the less people can be upset about. Now, this is all coming down to a final vote, not between you and I, the voters, but between Boston and several other famous world cities, Rome, Berlin, maybe some others. The International Olympic Committee is set to decide in the next year or two. And American members on that committee, well, their votes won't count. They're disqualified from voting because they're obviously partial to which country gets the bid. So the Boston bid has to appeal to the other members based on their ability to host and run a smooth Olympics. They have to sell it just like anybody else. Now, that would include setting up several large venues throughout Greater Boston. Obviously, a lot of traffic in the area, a lot of concerns on both sides. Some say it could be good for business. Others say it could be bad for residents. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh says he is against the idea of putting the Olympics in Boston up for a vote to the public. At least for now, the USOC is only revealing part of their plans for Boston. They say they want to keep some of those details out of the public for fear it could hurt their chances. In other news, 6 men facing animal cruelty charges now in connection with what state police say appears to be a cockfighting ring. State police made the arrest early Sunday morning after pulling over a van on Route 290 in Worcester for motor vehicle violations. They thought it was a regular traffic stop, but what they found inside, both dead and live chickens, razor blades, other cockfighting paraphernalia, along with $4,500 cash. Now, the driver said they were headed from New York City to Lawrence. Troopers arrested the 6 men in the van there, 4 of them from Lawrence, 1 from Dorchester, another from Nashua, New Hampshire. And the Patriots in hot water once again as they head to the Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona in a week from Sunday. New information out of the league front office. Now we are learning that the Patriots were indeed playing with deflated footballs in Sunday's game against the Colts. 11 of the 12 footballs the Patriots used were not properly inflated. In fact, they were underinflated by a total of 2 pounds. According to the reports, the NFL is angry. So far, the league has declined to comment while they continue to complete this ongoing investigation, and that could take at least another 1, 2, 3 days or so. This is not good news for those Patriots fans who are hoping that Deflategate would become a non-story. Now, NFL rules require each team turns in all 12 game balls on Friday before game day. At that point, the officiating crew inspects those balls 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game starts. That's when the balls are given back to the team to take out to the sideline. So who is at fault? All of those questions still to be answered. The NFL said if in fact they find the Patriots intentionally deflated footballs, they could lose a draft pick, a massive blow in the coming seasons.